Hi everyone, thanks so much for tuning into my tarot channel today. My name's Paulina and I've got an odd one here for you. It is a little intense, so if you're not in the mood for a more reflective reading that's not as motivational, then don't tune in for this one because it's going to go to some dark places, I have a feeling. So this is a reading for someone who's dealing with intense, negative, uncomfortable emotion. It could be a panic attack, it could be grief, it could be fear, you fill in the blank, something very overwhelming, or it could even be something like suicidality. That's just one of the examples. So this is for someone who's really struggling, is what I'm trying to say. But you don't have to be suicidal to watch this. Just like if you want to call 988, you don't have to be suicidal. It's a crisis hotline, and this is for someone who's going through a crisis. So yeah. Firstly, as we open up the reading, I want to validate what you're going through, and that life is very challenging. We all are given difficult times. We all have challenges that are God-given, that are just in our life journey. And these feelings that you're having are not wrong. Adler, who is a therapy theorist that I like, I'm not sure if I think he's just a therapist. Anyway, Adler says that the response to the stimulus is already waiting to be expressed. The stimulus that we think is making us sad or happy or whatever, that feeling is already within us, and the stimulus is just a way for it to be exercised. I don't know if that makes sense. So say that you had really horrible day and people kept hurting your feelings. Everywhere you went, people were hurting your feelings. This is just an example. There's something within you that already has your feelings hurt, and you're attracting more of that. So that's just one way to look at it. Yeah, so I'm gonna get a couple cards for this negative, intense, overwhelming feeling. What does Spirit want us to know about this energy? What does Spirit want us to know? The Star. I got this card earlier. I think it has, I'm not sure. I think these are pelicans again. And I mentioned before that pelicans are an early symbol related to Christ, actually, because in mythology, the pelican mother makes a cut upon her breast to bleed and feed her young. So there may be something that's like a martyr situation where you feel like you're bleeding out, you're like not able to. The Star is it's really a card about spirituality. It's related to abundance, it's related to the sign of Aquarius, friendship, humanity, community. But the Star can also be our North Star, and I'm saying with that you're on your right path with the Star card. These feelings this is what you're supposed to be feeling. This is exactly right. You're on path. You're on the right track. And B, you don't have to sacrifice yourself in life. You don't have to hurt yourself to help others. Oh, we got 8 of Earth, Inner Order. There's pumpkins here. So pumpkins, obviously we just had, we just had Halloween, which is last month, my favorite season really, because my birthday's November 9th, like the next week. So 8 of Earth, Inner Order. The 8 is usually about I would say this is the 8 of Pentacles, which is about like a garden. Like the 7, 8, 9 in the Pentacles is about the growth of a garden. And then having the 9 would be personal fulfillment. The 7 is planting the seeds, and the 8 is the garden sort of growing. These goals that, or these material things that we have planted. 8 is really a number about money in numerology. If you have a number 8 as your life path number, money is a huge, the power of money is a huge thing for you in your life. It's not for everyone. So I think that with the 8 also, this is a time of rebirth and recycling. And I think that to do that, you have to sort of let these feelings wash through you and out of you. It's impossible. Well, it is sort of possible, but it's really impossible to stay in an aggravated, agitated state for longer than, I mean, like really agitated and upset. You can't do that without getting so exhausted for more than a couple of days. So this could be a really good time to get some rest if you are having these unhinged feelings, maybe panic. I'm sensing a lot of like panic, a lot of people who are scraping by and sort of, I know that like, I'm not going to share my politics. I don't want anyone who doesn't agree with me to, but you can guess by my vibe and what I look like, and just that I'm an artist, what my politics are, and that I had immigrant grandparents, for example, that you can guess what my politics are. But I want to say that I'm glad we're in a country where anyone can believe what they want. Otherwise, that would be fascism, and I don't want that. So why am I bringing that up? I think part of what's happening with you in your life is you're feeling disillusioned. Not just, you may have been for this presidential person that we have right now. I can't even say his name, it's too triggering. And now you're like seeing it's not really like going how you thought. Things are not like improving. And the money could be like a major thing for you right now. Like maybe like taking the focus off of money. Abraham Hicks says that when we're only thinking of something in one way, it's like we're coming back to the subject and we're just like hammering away at it, and it's not going to help. We need to get off the subject and change our vibration and then come back. I already got that card, so I'm going to try to get more cards, different cards I haven't gotten. No, I've already gotten that card. Okay, it shows my vibration has not changed that much in the past couple days since I got these cards, because I keep getting the same cards. Ooh, 5 of Earth, insecurity. So yeah, of course, financial insecurity would be 5 of Pentacles, and loss. We got some dead corn here, and corn is a sign of abundance and was a huge resource for Native Americans. But because this is a Native American Vision Quest deck, you feel insecure in your life. That is where some of these dark feelings are coming from, these dark energies. And I want to tell you what you need to do is you need to, because I am picking up that you are a sensitive person. You wouldn't be watching this unless you had innate sensitivity. Otherwise, you would just not be able to follow what I'm talking about, because I babble, I go on, and that wouldn't interest someone who's not sensitive, who doesn't care about nuance. So you're sensitive. And I want to tell you that the world is not made for sensitive people. But that's why we're here, though. I mean, because of genetics, really, highly sensitive people are created in an environment, but it's also genetics. And I mean, none of my siblings are highly sensitive people. Not that I don't care for them, but they have different, none of them have had like health issues like I've had. None of them have hypersensitivity, allergies. None of them are allergic to animals, for example. None of them have asthma. And health is related to temperament. None of them are ectomorphs, which is tall and thin. I'm like, Mom, am I an affair child? I'm not though. I have the same like face as my father. But what was I gonna say? I'm saying there's diversity within even within a family structure where we would think that the genetics are so similar, right? So if you're a highly sensitive person, you need to realize that you're expending energy when you get into it with people. And I guess this is more of an advice, wisdom reading from my life experience, and I will share some images that I'm picking up as we go forward, but this is really coming through strong. I guess my protector part, if you've ever done IFS, I have some really strong protector parts that come in when I'm in trouble or in crisis, and they just really take over. And then the work later becomes talking to those other parts that were like feeling helpless or shut down, and letting them know the protector parts got it, but also talking to the protector part and saying, hey, I got it from here, you can chill. I don't know if you have to read about IFS, interfamily systems style of therapy, to understand what I'm talking about. Oops. Basically, it's like Gestalt on acid, which is that like we're talking to these different parts of ourselves and integrating after being decompartmentalized, after fragmentation from trauma, which happens to all of us. We all have these many selves. So yeah, my protector part is like, or my fire part, as they would technically call it in IFS, the one that comes and just like is like, let's get shit done. That part wants you to know that you don't owe anyone a conversation, and this may be why you're feeling so low and feeling so sad, because you're sizing yourself up, your worth, your whatever, your energy against these other people. And a lot of people in this world are suffering. A lot of people are stressed. They're not happy. They will use any chance to take out their frustrations on a stranger or on a woman. Honestly, there's a lot of misogyny in this world, but it can happen for men too. That men can get yelled at in a public place for no reason, or like just this morning, actually I'm not going to even get into it. I had a similar experience where I chose to just say nothing, point to what I was doing, quickly do it, and just drive away. I was dropping something off at someone's house, and the person couldn't handle it. I'm not going to get into the details, but it took 30 seconds, and it just became clear to me that this person just wanted someone to lose it on. And I am an easy target because I'm different. I'm a woman. I look like I won't fight back, but I really pissed him off more because I didn't get into a fight with him. I just said, oh, I'm doing this right now, I'll be done in 2 seconds. And I wasn't even blocking him. He could have driven by. He just wanted to it's really crazy, actually. Why am I telling? There's a lot of crazy people in the world, okay? And they want to dim your light because you can't really interact with any of them unless you dim your light to talk to them. But that's just not what I want you to do. I want you to envision like a bubble of safety around you anytime you're in one of these situations where someone's like yelling at you, being abusive, being toxic, and then you're like absorbing a lot of that energy I'm seeing. So a lot of your depression and negative feelings is actually you taking on other people's dark stuff and taking it personally and not knowing how to deal with it, and then making them right about you. And you can't do that. You can't let other people dictate who you are. You can't. You have to be strong in your individuality, and I know it's very hard in our conformist culture. So I got some imagery the last 2 days that I'll share that hopefully relates to this, and then we'll close with a card, a final closing card. I saw a lot of clocks in my mind. I had a really restful sleep yesterday, and I woke up with this clarity, and why am I talking about clocks? I'll get back to the clocks, but I woke up with this like clarity that I hadn't had about my life and about how I've functioned in it. So the clocks that I'm seeing, you may need some rest. You may need to take some real time, some downtime, not just sleeping, but like non-doing. Maybe you're like an athlete. I'm an athlete too, but you have to take the off day. If you don't, you're not going to. You're not giving your muscles the time to rest and digest or relax, or the nervous system. Just, those old grandfather clocks. That's the kind I was thinking of. Like, so this is not about mortality or like a warning that you don't have time, or this is about, those grandfather clocks. They're very particular. My grandparents used to have one. You need to get a repairman. It's like a specific kind of thing. You may require something very specific to heal, something not normal, something that other people won't understand. I want you to keep this to yourself. This is getting into some witchcraft territory. I am somewhat of a practitioner of Wicca, which is the 70s revival of witchcraft, paganist witchcraft. Not in the sense where I'm like folding 100 feathers in half and like blowing them into the wind and like making some ritual. I don't really do ritual anymore, besides a few things. But in terms of intention and witchcraft, I keep coming back to the cone of silence. I've mentioned it multiple times. There's a pyramid of the witches' pyramid of things. It's like to will, to know, to act or something, and there's another one, and then to be silent. You need to be more silent in a lot of situations. You are expending cell matter on some of these people who don't wish you well, have mental health issues. They're not going to see your point of view. And this could be anyone. This could be like a crazy psycho that I was like bothering me this morning because I was dropping something off at a friend's house. This could be like some person you do know that's in your life intimately. This could be anyone. Limits. Setting limits. You're feeling bad because you're not setting limits. You're being a sloppy mess. Oh, I get it, because I've been a sloppy mess in terms of not controlling my energy. The grandfather clock. It is temperamental. It can get messed up with heat. You may be thinking of time in a distorted way. I don't have that much time. I'm bored. There's too much time. I don't want to spend my time this way. I don't like this schedule. I don't want to wait till this time in my life to do this. Wow. But psychics can see time in a non-linear way. Not like I'm all-knowing and godlike, but I have had a lot of premonition type experiences, and just being an astrologer, you can look at things and see the gist of where things are going. And I will tell you that in terms of time, what you're thinking right now, how you're spending this moment, this is life right now. Not 20 minutes from now, not in an hour. This is it, right here. You and me, sitting here with these trying to deal with these shitty feelings that you're trying to get over. I'm not gonna go Teal Swan and tell you to go sink deeply into the feeling and let it pass. No, I love Teal Swan. I'm sorry. I'm just, I'm not gonna do that. That's not my style. Because the feelings I'm talking about are not easily managed. Well, they don't come at times. This is the clock again. They don't come at times we predict. They come when we're triggered as F, out of nowhere. We're not on our shit. We're not taking care of ourselves. And we have a thin layer or thin barrier between ourselves and the world. Who's in charge of that? You. This is a little bit of a Hard Knocks reading. I feel like this is coming from your guides, not me. I wouldn't talk like this. Let's get another card from your guides though, in terms of this time stuff, your frustration with time. Maybe you feel like, maybe you're like wanting to have a baby that you're not seeing as possible, or maybe you're like, my life is stuck, I'm halted in my life, whatever it is. Let's get a couple cards about this time issue and then we're gonna close. Ooh. Vision Quest and Son of Water. I got it reversed, I'll just read it upright. Wow. Vision Quest. This is amazing because I went to the top of a mountain this summer. I keep talking about it. It was amazing. I did have an animal experience. Not like seeing a giant eagle in the sky. It was actually just on the way back. My dog and I took this. We took a different way back than most people do on this hike because she doesn't want to go the dangerous way. And you'd be surprised, most people do want to go the dangerous way for the thrill. The thing about this easy way back is it's isolated for 15 minutes. So I was like scared. But my dog, I trust her instinct and she knows what's in the woods. And we were scared, but I heard this rustle and I'm thinking it's like a coyote, it's a fox, and we got to start running back to the main trail. It was a chipmunk. It was a chipmunk. So that was my spirit animal moment, that this small can be big, I guess. Small acts. All the chipmunk was doing was like fiddling with some nuts and leaves. And I was like, what is that? Because there was nothing around, no one around. That showed me that everything that we do matters. We may have times in depression where we think, because I've been depressed, that's why I'm sharing this with you. I've had depression in my life. I'm pretty good right now. I'm in therapy, I've got it managed, but I do think of it like a disease. And anxiety goes hand in hand with that. So some of us are predisposed to these things. And that can be with the time too, the clock. This may have been a long mental health crisis for you. I know I said that you can only be in a hyper agitated aroused state for a couple of days, but you can be in a fight or flight freeze state for months, which is very uncomfortable. And then we got the Son of Water, which is like, so the Vision Quest card, I'm begging you to go and commune in nature before it gets too cold, I guess, is what I'm saying. That would be really great for you. And then also, Son of Water could be a male energy in your life that is balancing, is grounding, or there could be a masculine part of you that's coming out that is able to sort of be compassionate in a way that's also masculine. You can make these decisions and you can still be compassionate. Let's get one more card. Closing card. A lot of us think that being compassionate means, or being a leader means not being compassionate. I think some of the major issues in the corporate world are that people are not getting compassion training in corporations. I think it should be required training. Not like you can treat people to be good people, but you can teach them ethical morals in terms of how to deal with people. And I don't think any companies are spending money on that. It's untapped market, just thought. Sorry, I have an MBA, it's unused MBA right now, so that's how I think. Okay, so we got 5 of Water Loss and Daughter of Fire. Yeah. I love this artist. I mean, I'm not really into illustration as much because I'm a fine artist, but like I studied painting, fine art, but I do like the color schemes. Daughter of fire, 5 of water lust. You lost communication with someone, because the 5 is about communication and change. And the water can be about obviously emotion, but also the moon here is at I think it's like a hangnail moon, as they call it. Like what is that? It's not waning, it's a waxing moon. Is it a waxing or waning? A waxing moon, whatever, even whether it's waxing or waning, doesn't matter, because it's about over or under giving your communication. You're afraid to talk to people because of someone who was very cruel to you. Maybe your mother, or maybe a sister, or maybe you have this like fire within you that's like more it's like a gentle fire, because it's a daughter of fire, right? You can't express it. You don't feel like you can express. You feel like you've lost some of yourself. Sorry, my car keeps turning on. Wow, you feel like you've lost some of yourself through some tough communication. Maybe somebody like has been verbally abusing you. That can really take a toll on the psyche. I'm gonna get one closing healing message from your guides. I'm not gonna interpret it too much, and then we're gonna close. Sorry. One last closing message from your guides. Okay, ooh, it's a horse. Chaos. Love it. I think I got this before and didn't pull it. Didn't read it up to you. There's a horse. Horses are about a lot of things. I don't know if you ever know that artist Susan Rothenberg from the 60s and 70s. She did a lot of motifs of horses. To me, they were about meditation, or emptying the mind, because it was just like a symbol that she did a million different ways and in different variations. I thought those paintings to me were about someone who is obsessive. I'm not sure if she was a Scorpio, but to do the same motif over and over in a variety of ways speaks to obsession and a way to empty the mind, in my mind. Yeah, Susan Rothenberg, she's really interesting. I think she lives on a ranch with her husband, who's also a famous artist. I forget what his last name, but I forget. Is it Klaas Oldenburg? No, it's not Klaas Oldenburg. I don't know. I forget. She's married to, no, Bruce Nauman. Is she married to Bruce Nauman? I'm pretty sure. They live on a ranch in the Midwest. Why do I mention Bruce Nauman? There's a great poster I used to have when I was in my 20s. I lived in NYC, and it was like descriptions about like, it was like a performance art poster about like, the whole piece was like description, like directions, like put your back against the wall, turn your shoulder this way, and then you're supposed to read it and do the actions, but then the piece is also just the aesthetics of the poster. So I love that kind of art from the 60s. It's very like kind of out there. Why am I mentioning this? Why am I mentioning Bruce Nauman, Susan Rothenberg, and the horses in their life? You may need to have a very different kind of lifestyle than you're having right now. You may need to travel, go somewhere. The horse can be related to Sagittarius, which can be about long distance travel. You may need to rethink a lot of things about how you're functioning. This is not working. This go, 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 stress, 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 cry, cry, cry. No. I'm pretty sure people move to ranches to find that peace. I think they were New Yorkers at one point, Susan Rothenberg and Bruce Nauman. I also I'm thinking of this piece. Your guides must be showing me some memories. This great artist, I'm sure you know Yoko Ono, John Lennon's wife, is a wonderful performance artist, and I saw a show of hers called, must have been at least 10 years ago at the MoMA, where which is one of her famous pieces where you climb up this sort of stairwell or ladder thing, and it seems precarious, and then you get up there and then you have this little magnifying glass, and it's just this word at the top that says yes. And there were several variations of things like that, where it was like things where the body was like, how do I find what this is? And then you had to like find this little tiny thing, word. I think I'm mentioning that because there may be like scavenging or like a scavenger hunt about that you need to go through to find the source of this painful feeling, to find that yes. We all have a yes. Comes maybe quietly, different times. Some of us get a yes feeling. I'm talking about the opposite of depression. I'm talking about that feeling of yes, yes. That's such a good feeling. You know that feeling? It's just the complete opposite of depression, and it's satisfaction. And sometimes we're pulled out of the vortex, out of happiness, so that we can look around. How do we find that yes? How do I get that satisfaction? And rearrange my life to find it. Yeah, a lot of potential here. I'm thinking of you as like a boomerang, like there's a lot of force with these feelings, but you can swing back around. You can use that force and propel it toward positivity. So don't give up. Find your yes. Some people find that yes, I was going to say, during exercise. I used to be like a distance runner, and that really, that big runner's high, I like swore by that for years. Just for example, your yes could be a creative yes, maybe finishing a short story, or I'm getting that some of you have goals that you never went for because of these overwhelming feelings that hold you back. You're maybe afraid that you'll cry in front of someone. You know what? So what? So what? Sensitivity is beautiful. And yeah, this has been a scattered reading. I think that means that there's a lot going on, and there's multiple people with different needs that are being addressed. But the most important thing is, I want you to pat yourself on the back for dealing with these tough feelings and not throwing in the towel. Good for you. And that's why I said in another more inspirational reading, do not give up. Do not give up. You can't see right now what's ahead, but no one is meant to, this life is not meant for us to be lived in misery. If you're going through a dark night of the soul, it's all for your healing. It's all for your good. And your guides want you to know that there is a silver lining. There is good stuff coming, and you just gotta hang in there. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope that this helped you see some of this stuff from a different angle, and maybe detach here. Maybe detaching, doing some mindless activity could be really helpful for some of the bodily sensations that we get when we have these negative energies, negative experiences. We also want to release them in the body. So thanks for tuning in.